The Chupacabra, a name that evokes both fear and fascination, traces its origins back to the late 20th century in Puerto Rico. This enigmatic creature first emerged in 1995, when a series of peculiar livestock deaths began to perplex farmers. Reports described goats found drained of blood, their bodies eerily untouched except for 2 small puncture wounds on their necks. This bizarre phenomenon sparked widespread curiosity and dread, giving birth to the Chupacabra legend. Culturally, the Chupacabra represents more than just a creature of nightmares. It symbolizes the intersection of folklore and societal fears. For many rural communities in Latin America, where reliance on livestock is pivotal, the sudden terror of an unidentified predator struck at the heart of their livelihoods. The legend quickly spread beyond Puerto Rico, capturing imaginations across the continent and evolving into a shared narrative that resonated deeply with those who felt vulnerable to unseen threats. Over time, descriptions of the Chupacabra morphed as tales traveled from one region to another. Some depicted it as a small, reptilian creature with spines along its back, while others described it as resembling a hairless dog with piercing eyes. Each portrayal reflected local anxieties, whether about economic instability or environmental changes, demonstrating how folklore can adapt to contemporary realities. As sightings proliferated, the Chupacabra transformed from an obscure myth into a figure of intrigue. Investigators and curious locals flocked to rural areas, hoping for a glimpse of this elusive beast. Each reported sighting fueled speculation and further embellished the legend, while skeptics attempted to rationalize these occurrences with scientific explanations or dismiss them as hoaxes. Nevertheless, the cultural significance of the Chupacabra went beyond mere sensationalism. It became a focal point for discussions about identity, fear, and resilience within communities faced with modern challenges. In an age marked by uncertainty, from economic downturns to environmental crises, the allure of the Chupacabra persisted as a reflection of collective anxieties. Ultimately, what began as a localized fright morphed into a powerful symbol woven into the fabric of Latin American culture. With its roots firmly planted in folklore yet intertwined with real-world implications, the Chupacabra stands as a testament to humanity's perpetual dance between myth and reality. As the Chupacabra legend spread beyond its Puerto Rican origins, descriptions of this mysterious creature diversified significantly, reflecting local cultural nuances and environmental contexts. In some regions, particularly in Mexico, the Chupacabra is often depicted as a small reptilian creature, approximately 3 to 4 feet tall. Its skin is described as scaly and grayish-green, adorned with spines or quills running down its back. Witnesses have reported large red eyes that seem to glow in the dark, giving it an otherworldly appearance that amplifies the fear it inspires. Contrastingly, in parts of Texas and the southern United States, sightings of the Chupacabra have led to portrayals more akin to that of a hairless dog. These accounts describe a gaunt creature with long limbs and a pronounced snout, lacking fur but exhibiting powerful muscles underneath its thin skin. This version has been linked to sightings of animals such as coyotes suffering from mange, a condition that can cause severe hair loss, leading some skeptics to argue that many alleged Chupacabra encounters may simply be misidentified wildlife. Behaviorally, the Chupacabra is often characterized as nocturnal and elusive, stalking its prey under the veil of night. Its most notorious behavior involves attacking livestock, particularly goats, and draining their blood through 2 small puncture wounds left behind on the neck. This gruesome act has cemented its reputation as a bloodsucker and predator among farmers fearful for their herds. While some versions highlight its predatory instincts, others suggest a more supernatural element. Tales tell of it possessing intelligence and cunning that allows it to evade capture or detection by humans. These varied descriptions serve not only to shape the legend but also reflect deeper societal concerns. For communities grappling with economic hardship or environmental instability, the Chupacabra embodies tangible fears, a manifestation of vulnerability in an unpredictable world. As people recount their encounters or share stories passed down through generations, each retelling contributes layers to the evolving mythos surrounding this elusive creature. Ultimately, whether viewed as a monstrous entity or a misunderstood animal struggling for survival, the Chupacabra remains a potent symbol within folklore, one that continues to spark imaginations while echoing humanity's timeless fascination with the unknown. As the Chupacabra legend spread, it transitioned from mere folklore into something more tangible through a series of reported sightings that sent shockwaves through rural communities. Initially dismissed as the products of overactive imaginations or local superstition, these early encounters began to accumulate evidence that sparked widespread fear and curiosity. Farmers found their livestock murdered under mysterious circumstances, prompting frantic calls for explanations and immediate action. One of the first documented sightings came from a farmer in rural Puerto Rico, who stumbled upon several goats dead in his pen, their blood seemingly drained. His account, along with others emerging from other parts of the island, painted a grim picture that challenged the boundaries between myth and reality. Eyewitness testimonies started to circulate, stories of shadowy figures lurking in the night, elongated creatures with glowing eyes stealing into villages, leaving chaos and confusion in their wake. These narratives resonated deeply with communities already grappling with economic instability and environmental challenges, turning folklore into a living nightmare. As news spread through both word of mouth and local media outlets, curiosity turned into panic. Villagers began banding together to protect their livestock, forming nighttime watch groups armed with flashlights and makeshift weapons, hoping to catch a glimpse of this so-called predator. The phenomenon soon garnered attention beyond Puerto Rico. Reports from Mexico and the southern United States added fuel to the fire, drawing more public interest and prompting investigators to delve into these mysterious occurrences. The Chupacabra morphed into an almost urban legend-like figure, a collective anxiety manifesting through stories that seemed eerily plausible. As residents shared their fears through tales passed down at community gatherings or late-night conversations, each retelling reinforced a growing belief in its existence. Skeptics attempted to rationalize the deaths by attributing them to wild animals or disease. Still, witnesses remained steadfast in their accounts, constructing an immovable narrative around the creature they had come to fear. This shift not only intensified the cultural significance of the Chupacabra but also highlighted a broader phenomenon: how legends can evolve in response to real-world fears. In transforming from an old wives' tale into an urgent reality affecting livelihoods, the Chupacabra became a powerful symbol, one representing humanity's struggle against uncertainties and fears lurking just beyond sight. As the Chupacabra phenomenon escalated, the impact on livestock became profoundly alarming for farmers across affected regions, where mysterious and brutal livestock deaths began to emerge. The earliest reports detailed animals, particularly goats, found drained of blood, their bodies untouched aside from small puncture wounds on their necks. One farmer in rural Puerto Rico discovered 3 of his prized goats dead, and later recounted the chilling experience to reporters, noting how they had appeared perfectly healthy just hours before. Such incidents did not occur in isolation. As more farmers shared their experiences, a pattern began to emerge. Herds would be found slaughtered under cover of night with no signs of struggle or disturbance around the pens. Eyewitness accounts described shadowy figures described as ghostly creatures lurking near their properties. Sentries now turned paranoid by the specter of an unseen threat. This wave of panic spread through rural communities as people started whispering about the Chupacabra in cautious tones, weaving the creature into their nightly conversations. The psychological toll on farmers was significant. Many reported sleepless nights filled with anxiety for their remaining livestock. Vigilante groups formed spontaneously among neighbors who banded together to protect their herds. Armed with flashlights and makeshift weapons, they wandered fields at dusk, hoping to catch a glimpse of this suspected predator. Community gatherings increasingly focused on sharing reports and developing strategies against what they perceived as a growing crisis. As the panic deepened, local governments began to take notice. Investigators were dispatched to inspect sites of cattle deaths, leading to scientific explanations ranging from animal attacks to disease outbreaks. Yet these rationalizations did little to quell anxious farmers who continued to believe in the legend's dark truth. Media outlets reported extensively on the situation. Television crews flocked to interview distraught farmers and document the aftermath of reported attacks. In time, these harrowing events shaped the narrative around the Chupacabra from mere folklore into a veritable menace haunting agricultural communities. The predator's spectral presence became a shared anxiety that transcended individual fears. It united locals around a collective struggle in protecting their livelihoods from a threat that defied explanation. Ultimately, these incidents solidified the Chupacabra's role not only as a figure of terror, but as an emblem representing broader worries about economic stability and survival in an unpredictable world. As rumors of the Chupacabra spread, media coverage began to escalate, amplifying the anxiety surrounding these mysterious livestock deaths. News outlets quickly seized on the story, broadcasting reports that detailed the grisly findings of dead goats and other livestock, often accompanied by sensational imagery and dramatic narratives. Television stations in Puerto Rico and beyond aired interviews with distressed farmers who recounted their experiences, showcasing bloodless carcasses and puncture wounds while emphasizing the horror and uncertainty that enveloped their communities. This flood of media attention transformed public perception, shifting the Chupacabra from an obscure legend into a widely recognized threat. The coverage not only highlighted individual cases but also framed the issue within a larger context of agricultural vulnerability, raising alarms about food security in regions heavily reliant on livestock. With headlines heralding "The Monster That Drains Blood" or "A New Predator Stalking the Night," news stories drew in audiences captivated by both fear and fascination. In addition to traditional print and broadcast media, social media played a significant role in shaping perceptions. Viral posts shared dramatic images of purported Chupacabra sightings alongside tales of livestock attacks brought fresh waves of panic. Online forums and community groups emerged where people exchanged sightings, organized local watch parties, and debated the true nature of this enigmatic creature. As these discussions flourished, they further embodied collective trepidation, giving rise to an almost mythic status for the Chupacabra. Local governments responded to the hysteria by deploying animal control experts and wildlife biologists to investigate reported incidents. While some sought scientific explanations, attributing livestock deaths to wild animal predation or outbreaks of disease, these rebuttals often lacked resonance among fearful farmers who remained convinced that something more sinister was at play. Media outlets continued to feature expert opinions alongside community voices, creating a dichotomy between skepticism rooted in science and emotional appeals fueled by personal accounts of loss. This interplay between media coverage and public response solidified the Chupacabra's impact as more than a mere superstition. It became a symbol representing deeper economic fears tied to agricultural livelihoods precariously balanced on the edge of uncertainty. Coverage that initially sought to inform had morphed into narrative building that entrenched the legend into popular consciousness, illustrating just how swiftly collective beliefs can shape reality when informed by fear and desperation. Ultimately, what began as sensationalism evolved into an authentic concern for countless individuals facing potential loss within their livelihoods. In the wake of escalating reports about the Chupacabra, scientists and researchers stepped in to investigate the phenomenon more rigorously. Their goals were twofold: to identify the remains linked to livestock deaths, and to determine whether there were rational explanations for what was happening. With livestock found dead across several regions, forensic examinations became essential in understanding the cause of these deaths. One of the first significant scientific inquiries occurred in Puerto Rico, where a team of veterinarians and wildlife biologists examined the carcasses of goats that had reportedly been attacked by the Chupacabra. They meticulously documented the physical characteristics of the wounds, looking for signs of predation by known local animals. The findings often pointed toward typical canine behavior. However, these conclusions failed to quell public fears, as many farmers remained convinced that the Chupacabra represented something beyond ordinary wildlife. In addition to examining remains, researchers attempted to assess the broader ecological implications of these events. They collected blood samples and tissue from deceased livestock to analyze for potential pathogens or toxins that could have contributed to the animals' deaths. Their investigations frequently revealed no significant diseases, leading some scientists to speculate that media hysteria and heightened emotional responses might be amplifying what could otherwise be explained as routine animal losses due to illness or accidents. The scientific community also sought to debunk popular myths surrounding the Chupacabra. For instance, while many insisted that the creature drained its victims of blood, studies found that most livestock had died from other causes, leaving only residual traces that could be misconstrued as vampiric behavior. Furthermore, genetic samples taken from animals identified as suspected chupacabras often returned results showing they were mangy coyotes or feral dogs, showcasing how misidentification can breed fear. Despite these rational explanations, skepticism persisted in rural communities. The scientists' efforts often clashed with deeply entrenched folklore and communal beliefs rooted in cultural narratives. Local farmers would argue passionately about their experiences and insist that no rational explanation could account for the eeriness of their livestock disappearing without a trace. The complexities encountered between scientific inquiry and public perception illustrated a broader phenomenon: how folklore can maintain its sway even when faced with empirical evidence. Through exhaustive investigations, researchers endeavored to clarify realities obscured by fear, aiming to cut through the legend's hold on communities. Nevertheless, their work served as a poignant reminder of the challenges faced when attempting to reconcile lived experiences with scientific truths, especially regarding a creature that had become emblematic of deeper societal anxieties. As the Chupacabra legend continued to capture public imagination, various theories emerged regarding what this elusive creature could actually be. One prevalent explanation among skeptics is that many sightings can be attributed to wild animals afflicted by disease, particularly mange. Mangy coyotes and feral dogs, stripped of their fur and appearing gaunt, could easily be mistaken for the Chupacabra, especially in dim lighting or during nighttime encounters. Their sunken eyes and skeletal frames evoke the nightmarish descriptions often associated with the mythical beast, thus leading to misidentifications that reinforce the legend. Another theory posits that genetic mutations or abnormalities in known animal species could give rise to creatures resembling traditional descriptions of the Chupacabra. Instances of hybridization, where two closely related species breed, can sometimes result in unusual physical traits, potentially creating an animal that strays from typical appearances and behaviors. Some researchers have suggested that environmental factors, such as habitat destruction or pollution, may lead to genetic discrepancies, resulting in strange creatures appearing in rural areas. Furthermore, there are more speculative theories suggesting the existence of entirely undiscovered species that may inhabit remote regions, yet remain unseen by humans. This perspective echoes the allure of cryptozoology, the study of creatures whose existence is not substantiated by mainstream science. Advocates argue that vast areas of wilderness still hold secrets waiting to be uncovered, allowing for the possibility that an unknown creature could exist. However, such claims often lack substantial evidence and tend to rely more on anecdotal accounts than scientific validation. While these theories provide alternative explanations for Chupacabra sightings and attacks on livestock, they also underscore a wider commentary on human psychology and societal fears. The Chupacabra serves as a metaphorical embodiment of anxieties around food security, economic instability, and environmental change. In times of stress or uncertainty, people are inclined to seek out scapegoats, supernatural or otherwise, to help explain their experiences. Ultimately, while theories regarding the Chupacabra's existence range from the plausible to the far-fetched, they reflect humanity's enduring fascination with the unknown. The creature embodies a complex interplay between reality and folklore. It highlights how fear can distort perceptions and create narratives around both visible threats and deeper existential worries. Each new theory adds another layer to the legacy of the Chupacabra, a creature that continues to haunt imaginations while prompting inquiries into nature's mysteries and humanity's deepest concerns. In the face of perceived Chupacabra attacks, communities affected by these incidents adapted both culturally and economically to mitigate the threat to their livestock. Farmers, grappling with the fear of losing their animals, began to rethink traditional farming practices. Many adopted more rigorous livestock protection measures, such as reinforcing pens with stronger fencing and employing guard animals like dogs or even llamas, creatures known for their protective instincts against predators. Additionally, agricultural practices shifted as farmers sought to create a more secure environment for their herds. Some implemented rotational grazing, which involved moving livestock between different pastures to minimize vulnerability during nighttime hours. Others invested in surveillance technology, including motion sensor lights and cameras, all aimed at monitoring their properties for signs of the elusive creature. This pivot towards enhanced security demonstrated a collective response not just to immediate threats, but also to an evolving understanding of community safety. Economically, the impact of the Chupacabra legend was multifaceted. Farmers faced heightened anxiety affecting their productivity and mental health. Some reported decreased milk production and weight gain in livestock due to stress among both animals and handlers. The financial implications of losing livestock were significant, forcing many farmers to reassess their operations and seek additional income streams. Some turned towards ecotourism or local markets, offering guided tours or workshops that highlighted the folklore surrounding the Chupacabra while also promoting sustainable farming practices. Culturally, the fear surrounding the Chupacabra catalyzed a resurgence of community bonding. Villages organized nighttime watch groups where neighbors banded together to monitor each other's properties, fostering a sense of solidarity amid uncertainty. Community gatherings became platforms for sharing stories, strategies for livestock protection, and emotional support. These gatherings not only reinforced communal ties but also allowed residents to voice their concerns and frustrations regarding both the tangible threat to their livelihoods and its intangible psychological toll. Moreover, local artisans began crafting Chupacabra-themed goods, t-shirts, figurines, and artwork that celebrated this newfound creature in popular culture. This trend reflected how folklore could be harnessed creatively as communities embraced the mythos surrounding the Chupacabra while still grappling with its very real economic implications. Ultimately, the cultural reactions and economic adaptations provoked by fears of Chupacabra attacks exemplify how folklore can influence practical realities in communities. As people navigated through layers of anxiety and adaptation, they transformed an ancient legend into an active part of their lives, one that intertwined resilience with creativity in facing contemporary challenges. In contemporary culture, the Chupacabra continues to maintain a vibrant presence, influencing various forms of media and cultural expressions. From documentaries exploring its origins and reported sightings to fictional portrayals in movies and television series, the creature has become a compelling subject within popular culture. Each new narrative not only showcases the Chupacabra's allure as a monstrous figure, but also intertwines local folklore with broader themes of mystery and existential fear. Literature has embraced the Chupacabra as well, with authors incorporating it into diverse genres, including horror, fantasy, and even young adult fiction. Its depiction varies greatly, often serving as a metaphor for societal anxieties or environmental degradation. These stories tap into the rich tapestry of myth while reflecting concerns that resonate with modern audiences, ranging from cultural identity to the implications of technological advancements on wildlife. Tourism has also evolved around the Chupacabra phenomenon, particularly in regions associated with its folklore, such as Puerto Rico and parts of Latin America. Dark tourism, traveling to sites associated with death, tragedy, or the uncanny, has found a niche market for those drawn by the legend. Guided tours highlighting Chupacabra lore have emerged, allowing visitors to explore rural landscapes while engaging with local narratives about the creature. Merchandising surrounding these tours has flourished, featuring everything from plush toys to art inspired by Chupacabra imagery, further embedding it into popular consciousness. Additionally, social media continues to play a crucial role in keeping the Chupacabra alive in communal dialogues. Viral posts sharing purported sightings sparking discussions reignite interest in the creature and encourage new generations to engage with its mythology. Digital platforms serve as modern-day campfire gatherings, where stories and theories are built upon and spun in captivating ways that blend reality with fiction. Despite scientific investigations that have sought to debunk its existence, the Chupacabra's legacy endures as a cultural touchstone mirroring humanity's fascination with the unknown. The enduring nature of its myth reflects not just a desire for storytelling but also our innate response to mystery in an increasingly complex world. As communities grapple with modern anxieties related to climate change, economic instability, and shifting cultural landscapes, the Chupacabra remains a haunting symbol, an intricate weaving of fear and fascination that captivates imaginations worldwide. Ultimately, the modern interpretations of the Chupacabra illustrate how folklore can evolve over time, transforming an old legend into a dynamic part of cultural discourse that continues to inspire both fear and curiosity for generations. The Chupacabra legend serves as a compelling case study in the ongoing interplay between belief and skepticism in folklore. While scientific investigations have provided rational explanations for many of the associated livestock deaths, the emotional and cultural weight of the Chupacabra myth continues to resonate deeply within communities. This phenomenon raises essential questions about whether legends can ever truly fade away, especially when they are intertwined with collective identities and societal fears. In many ways, folklore functions as a mirror reflecting the anxieties and struggles of a community. The Chupacabra, with its origins rooted in real incidents of livestock predation, has evolved into a powerful symbol that encapsulates broader concerns about food security, environmental degradation, and economic instability. As such, its persistence in popular culture suggests that beliefs often transcend empirical evidence. They fulfill deeper psychological needs for explanation and understanding in times of uncertainty. Moreover, the Chupacabra's journey from folklore to a contemporary cultural icon illustrates how legends can adapt over time. Its stories morph into new narratives that address current fears while maintaining ties to tradition. As communities navigate modern challenges, ranging from climate change to social upheaval, the Chupacabra remains a salient figure whose very existence prompts dialogue about resilience and identity. This dynamic interaction between belief and skepticism is further complicated by the role of media and technology. Social media platforms amplify discussions surrounding sightings and theories, allowing folklore to evolve rapidly as new generations engage with it. In this digital age, myths can be both scrutinized and celebrated simultaneously, fostering environments where skepticism thrives alongside deep-rooted beliefs. Ultimately, while some may dismiss the Chupacabra as mere superstition or an outdated relic of folklore, its enduring presence highlights the complexity of human experience. Legends like the Chupacabra not only persist but thrive in societies grappling with profound uncertainties. They remind us that belief is not solely about accepting facts. It encompasses a rich tapestry woven from shared experiences, fears, and hopes. As communities strive to reconcile their cultural narratives with scientific understanding, it becomes increasingly clear that legends like the Chupacabra are unlikely to fade away completely. Instead, they will continue to evolve, shaping identities while offering insight into humanity's enduring quest for meaning amid chaos. In this interplay between folklore and reality lies a testament to the resilience of storytelling itself, affirming that even in skepticism, there remains space for belief.